Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Sebastian to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So, folks, today we have a hell of a show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. Make sure y'all go ahead and do that. So let's get into today's topic here. Your man Paul Pierce is back at it again. And first of all, I got to give it to Paul Pierce. He knows how to make headlines. I think the last time he made headlines is when he guaranteed that the Celtics would beat the Knicks, I believe. And he promised to walk from his house to the studio. Now, I don't know what would possess him to do that. And even if you did make a bet like that, I would not follow through with that bet. I'm like, all right, whatever. Y'all can think what y'all think. I'm not walking from my house to my office, bro. That's the first thing. Then, of course, Kevin Garnett saw him on the road. I don't know how they said that thing, but he made news for that. But anyway, Paul Pierce is back at it again, making some more headlines. And this one has sent a lot of NBA fans into a frenzy. And it has to do with this comments that he made on Speak. They were talking about Kevin Durant and I think his time on the Mind the Game podcast. And then the conversation got into scoring and all of that. And then Paul Pierce decided to step out there and really throw it all to the wall and say that he's the best pure scorer in the history of basketball. For those of you who don't believe me, take a listen to what Paul had to say here.
Paul Pierce or Michael Jordan?
I can score more ways than Michael Jordan.
Paul Pierce or Allen Iverson?
I can score in more ways than Allen Iverson.
Paul Pierce or Kevin Durant?
That's a close one, too. I think I got a little more post game than Kev. We got a lot of the same arsenal, but I got him by a little bit.
Paul Pierce or Steph Curry?
Oh, yeah, I can do more offensively
Can I get a water,
than
please?
Steph.
Paul Pierce or James Harden?
My midi is better than James. My post game is better than James. About even on threes,
Yeah.
going to the rack. You know, Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce or T-Mac?
Now that one was close. Wow. Man,
I
T-Mac
get a
is
water,
amazing.
please?
He can post up. He can do a lot of things down screen, off the dribble. Damn. I got to the line more than him. I'll take him over.
Last one, Paul Pierce or LeBron James?
It's not even a conversation.
Fantastic. So you heard what he had to say. Now, he didn't stop there because apparently, I guess it was during a commercial break or something. They then began to ask him, they began to list players like, can you score better than AI? Can you score better than this guy? Can you score better than that guy? And Paul took it this time, I think, a little bit too far because he ended up throwing in Michael Jordan there. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
I was probably the best pure scorer ever in the history of the game. Because I was pretty equipped. When I think about it, I'm just saying, like,
Could you pull up from the elbow?
I need to be in this conversation.
Could you pull up from the elbow?
I got
Could you
all
knock
that.
down the three?
All that.
Could you back him down?
Three-point contest champ.
Could you turn around?
All of that. Post up.
Could you dunk?
All of that. I was shooting. I must have been one of the most equipped. Look, here we go. Boom. Who's this? I'm to the rack.
Okay.
Three people.
Why
Get
they
that.
got to show a Laker highlight, but I get it.
Yeah, look. Oh, let me see. Go over your head.
Oh, that's
Come
pretty.
on.
Yeah, that's
this is
pretty.
This is equipped. Oh, you want game winners? Wop, wop, wop. Here we go. Like, I'm trying to figure out
What was your efficiency?
Yeah, like, I think, when he's talking about his efficiency, because I shot more bad shots than Kevin.
Yeah, you was just
For
hot
sure.
dogging. You wasn't as clean.
No, I shot more bad shots, but Kevin, because he's 7 feet, he can get his shot off on anybody. He don't really see defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why he's so efficient. There's nobody at his height on the perimeter. He changed the way we look at perimeter. He pretty much changed the game on the perimeter. Like being a 7'2" guard, you know what I'm saying? That's like, come on, the biggest 2 guard when I came in was like 6'5", 6'6".
Because Dirk was, what, a 3?
Dirk was a 4 man.
Was he a 4?
Yeah, he's 7. He playing center. He a center playing at the point guard, 2 guard. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So all his matchups and the way he shoot the ball and get to the ball, he efficient with it. So I can see why LeBron would say that. But shoot, you got to put me in that talk when we talk about most equipped scorers. Now, come on, Bron. I was probably the best pure scorer ever in the history of the game.
Okay.
History.
There you go. You see how he did that?
If they want to use history,
That's
when we
what
just
I'm saying.
talk
So
about-
from
when we just talk about pure score, I'm in that list.
Excellent. So you heard what Paul Pierce had to say. These comments have sent NBA fans into a frenzy. I just tuned into a show. I didn't finish it from Sports and Fitness Rant. He's even more pissed off by the fact that Paul Pierce is so disrespectful. Like, that's the part he can't get over. Like, you mad disrespectful, yo. How you going to say that you a better scorer than Michael Jordan? What about the respect? So that's the angle he was taking it from. In terms of Paul Pierce being the best pure scorer in the NBA, in NBA history, knock it off. Knock it off, Paul. Knock it off. You was that dude. Knock it off. I watched Paul Pierce's career. Son was dumb nice. Before they had KG and all of them, when he was playing with Antoine Walker and all of them, Son was a bucket. Son had to step back. Matter of fact, he may have a point. He's the first one I seen doing that step back shot. He had a midi. He was clutch as hell. He would hit game winners all the way up until his time playing with the Washington Wizards. Son was dumb nice. Let's not get it twisted. He could score. He had a mid-range game. He could shoot the three. He could get to the basket. He could finish with contact. He was strong as a bull. I think Paul Pierce was 6'8", 6'9". You've seen him go one-on-one with, not one-on-one, mano-a-mano with him and LeBron James. Some classic playoff games. He was that dude. Like, there's a reason they call him the truth. Like, Son was the truth. We're not taking that away from him. He was an excellent, incredible basketball player. There's no question about it. In terms of being a better pure scorer, I think that's laughable. I think there were guys playing in Paul Pierce's era that could score more than him. I'll give you an example. Allen Iverson. I saw Allen Iverson average 33 in a season, son. That dude is 6'1", 165, 170, soaking wet. AI scored 60. I saw him score 48 points in a finals game versus Shaq and the Lakers, bro. At 6'1". I don't think he was better scoring. If I had to put both of them on a scoring rampage and say go out there and score for like a series of a set of like 20 games, I think AI is going to score more than him. I think T-Mac was a better scorer than Paul Pierce. I definitely think Kobe Bryant was a better scorer than Paul Pierce. Absolutely. Kobe had a motor. I think Carmelo Anthony could score the ball just as well as Paul Pierce, if I'm keeping it honest with you. Kevin Durant, I think he scores easier in terms of KD's scoring, but I would even put KD above Paul Pierce when it comes to scoring. Let's get to the one where he pissed off a lot of people. Michael Jordan. Now that one I will not about. That one we won't let go because there's no evidence of it. Paul is talking about he has this, he has that. Let me tell you something. Matter of fact, let me talk to these people, man. Let me talk to them real quick because y'all don't understand just how good Michael Jordan was. So some of y'all think that when people say Michael Jordan is good, y'all be thinking like, oh, they just good. Now you don't really realize just how good Michael Jordan is really good, folks. Like, he's really good at basketball. In case you ain't know, or they didn't tell you, Michael Jordan, folks, he's really good at basketball. Like, let me just break it to you. Let's look at Jordan's best scoring year. Forget about the fact he has the highest regular season score, all that. The year Jordan scored 37 was 86-87. On 48% shooting. He shot 18% shooting from three. I'm going to get to that number in a second. While shooting 86% from the free throw line with 5 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 2.9 steals. Okay? Mind you, Jordan led the league in steals multiple times. First of all, let me tell you why Jordan's a better scorer. Number one, he can score over 30 and make an all-first defensive team. Paul Pierce cannot do that. And if you know anything about basketball, you will know that the hardest thing to do is be a two-way player. It just requires more energy. So for the fact that Jordan can score over 30 and make an all-first defensive team, we end the conversation right there. Because who's exerting more energy and still scoring a lot? So Paul automatically removes himself out of the conversation. By that, a lot of these other guys remove themselves out of the conversation. AI removes himself out of the conversation. Kevin Durant moves himself out of the conversation. And a lot of these other guys. You're now getting into an elite group of players. If you're scoring over 30, 29, 30, and you're making all first defensive teams, you're in a different realm than the rest of the. I'm sorry. We cannot mention you in the same breath because it requires more energy and effort to defend and score. So Paul is not even in that conversation to begin with. I'm sorry to break it to you, Paul Pierce, you're not. Now, let's get to that year where he scored 37. That year Jordan scored 37. I want to give you guys some information. That was the, let me see, 86-87 season. Great. Do you know how many three-pointers Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan made that season? He attempted 66. Do you know how many threes he made? 12. which means that for about every 20 games, he was making 3 threes and scored 37. Let's just ponder on that for a moment. Let's have a moment and just think about that. The man scored 37.1 points, almost less than 3 points away from 40, and made 12 threes in the season. I think we can end the video here. I don't think we need to talk anymore. I think we pretty much ethered them. I think they're on the floor right now. I think they're calling out the stretcher and the ambulance because I think they're done. A dude that scored 37 in a season on twos. Now the question is, well, why didn't he shoot a 3? Because they clearly couldn't stop him. They couldn't stop him. In terms of having a more well-rounded game, that is madness. Paul Pierce is not a better post-up player than Michael Jordan. He is not a better mid-range player. He doesn't have better footwork. He's not a better finisher above the rim and under. He is not. Let's knock it all the way off. Paul Pierce is not a better offensive player than Kobe Bryant, and Jordan is a better offensive player than Kobe. So you can't even get into the conversation. Paul Pierce cannot get into the same conversation with Michael Jordan as a scorer, because Jordan was also making all defensive teams. So if you're scoring at a very high rate and making all defensive teams, you're in a totally different classroom, bro. We're not in the same classroom. We're not in the same classroom. Kobe Bryant, for example, made 12 all defensive teams. He led a decade in scoring points scored. Kobe, a decade in points scored. And was making all the first defensive teams. You can't compare. I'm sorry. You just pick another hill to die on. This ain't one of them. It's not even close. They're in a totally different stratosphere because the effort it requires to play defense. It takes a lot of effort. And a lot of guys, they say they rest on defense so they can score. Well, Kobe, Jordan, they didn't rest on defense. They still hounded you and still gave you 30 a night. They're not in the same universe. At all. They're not. Sorry to break. And nobody is really. No, James Harden is not in the same universe with Kobe and Michael Jordan scores. Harden was dropping buckets. Son played zero lick of defense. Them dudes was dropping 30 and playing serious defense. They're not in the same universe. Kobe and Jordan are by themselves. These are my thoughts. Catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.